everybody. I'm talking to you this morning from a coffee shop where I've just had a really relaxing cup of coffee to get me going. And today we're looking at the letter X. Now, when it comes to stress management, what does the letter X stand for? It stands, ladies and gentlemen, for the X factor. What does it mean, the X factor? Well, the X factor is that little something that we all have inside us, but often we do not acknowledge, we do not use. Too often we think of ourselves as not good enough or everyone else is better than us. Realize what we have inside ourselves that can make that difference. And that little something is what we call the X factor. So what do I mean when I talk about the X factor in stress management? There's a few aspects to just touch over quickly over here. The one is the way that you cope and you deal with it. Sometimes people deal with things and they think afterwards, I actually don't know how I did that. Or I know how I did it, but I didn't know I had it in me to do it. And what that actually is the X factor, where we go into what I like to refer to as autopilot. In other words, we're not always consciously aware of what we are doing, but we are doing something that is having a positive benefit and a positive impact. So what we've got to realize is we all have it inside us. But the X factor is also the way that we choose to view things in life. And I'll use myself as an example. I don't consciously go out every morning or most mornings and say, Jason, go and look for the positive in everything out there. I don't do that. I just see the positive by default. That is my default setting. And that is what I like to call the X factor as well. Why? Because things happen. That's life. One of the sayings I love is, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. And when it comes to the X factor, it's all about rolling with the punches. That X factor is being able to see the positive in things and to work your way around it. To be able to see what's transpiring and know that it doesn't mean it's the be-all and end-all of absolutely everything. And you've got to know that. You've got to realize that. Another saying that I absolutely love is the person with the most flexibility always controls the system. And isn't that a truth? Especially when it comes to stress management. So the question is, not do you have the X factor, but rather, do you embrace your X factor? And maybe yours is finding the positive in everything. Maybe yours is just that extra level of flexibility. Maybe yours is being able to see what's lying underneath. It doesn't matter what it is. Just know you have it. I have it. Everyone has it. And it's a simple case of whether you choose to embrace it or you choose to ignore it. So here's a task for you all to do today. I want you to go today and become a little bit introspective and become aware of one or 2 points about you, about yourself, that is your X factor. And know that whatever it is, that is what's going to help you. And embrace it, because it's all part of your stress management techniques. Just remember, never go swimming with cement shoes on. I'll see you tomorrow when we look at the letter Y. Till tomorrow.